I was just coming in an interview. I thought I was coming to meet one person.
He's getting serious now. I walked in the room.
We heard the gun story from Gerard, so like we're all worried you're going to pull the gun out and put it on the bed.
No, I flew in on a plane, so no guns.
How are you guys? Hi. Good, how are you?
Good. I spent time on site at home in Pennsylvania in his church. I watched him preach. I hung out in the neighborhood bars, you know, and the slaughterhouse for some reason. I don't know how we ended up there. Just trying to intimidate.
Wild night.
I woke up with a pig's head next to me and a note saying, "You better kill it. You better kill it in the roll, boy." So that's going to be quoted literally, you know. So I saw us, you know, I spent a bit of time with Sam up there, a few days, hung out with him, really got to know him there. He came to LA, you know, hung out with him there a few times, came up to Detroit. He was there before the beginning of the movie, so then, by that point, I kind of felt I already knew him. In fact, I felt I already knew him pretty quickly, in a way, you know. It's all in his eyes. I mean, there's a swagger, without a doubt, and there's questions you ask about what did you wear, how did you, you know, how did you find this? And, but really, it's watching the way he talks, and seeing how he feels about things, you know, how, you know, that sparkle in his eyes and how it quickly becomes a tear. He's just a fascinating character to study. You know, there's so much going on in there, and you don't know what's coming next.
To be honest with you, I didn't even know who Gerard was. Yeah, I mean, I'm not into all that stuff, you know. Sure. I'm a country guy.
Sure.
And I didn't know who he was. I had to look on the internet. Now, my daughter knew who he was, but yeah. My wife said I'm still better looking than
him.
That's
yeah.
Sam likes to challenge people, you know, in whatever way, you know, whether it's their commitment, maybe their religious beliefs, their you know, whatever. He's just the kind of guy that likes to test, you know. He with me, without a doubt, it was, could I extend past the realms of Hollywood, you know? Was I really a badass like he was, you know? I think he was also, you know, curious as to how much of a man of God I was. I don't think it was that important to him. It's also, he wasn't casting me, you know. I was already cast. That was a separate process, but it was just more to meet him. And he put, when I walked in, he had the toothpick and he's sitting back like, you know, surrounded by his posse, you know, his family and his daughter and his friends who were preachers, and then just other friends of the family. So it was definitely, I was in his house, you know. There was no doubts about that, and he was enjoying that feeling and the fact that Hollywood had come to him. Not that he was a great guest, I mean, a great host, but just kind of like sizing it all up, taking his time with things, you know, like chewing his toothpick, like, okay, nice to meet you, young fella. So you want to play me, huh? And at one point he put a gun down on the table. And I was like, okay, it's a gun. He's like, yeah, pick it up. It was like the deer hunter. You know? Tell me to put it to my head or something. And I picked it up, and I'm just kind of looking at it, and I'm thinking, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with it now. But and everybody keeps talking, and then I start moving it around, and they all like, everybody goes, no, whoa, wait, it's loaded. And to this day, I don't understand why he was giving me a loaded gun. Maybe it was just to see if I'd shoot him in the face by accident or something. I spent as much time with him, just looking at him, studying him, evaluating him, and then also just trying to almost take it in by osmosis. Like I would literally walk around imagining myself to be him and just getting that swagger and getting that, you know. I would listen to him all the time. Like literally I have thousands of interviews of Sam Childers talking about everything. And I would just hear him playing in the background. So I would always have this visual image of him. You know, and in between that and reading the book and any footage that you had of TV interviews or footage of him on site. So you take all that, but then, and that's where the good question comes in, because at some point you have to go away from that and say, okay, I'm going to use that and fly with that, but I'm not going to let it bog me down. You then have to, I'm not playing Hitler, JFK or somebody where people go, wait a minute, his mustache was half an inch more on the side, you know. It's, you then got to, you know, just you apply it to our script, our movie, and I get into a scene and I start working with, you know, Michelle, and you know, and then it's the true drama that comes out of that. And there just came a point, but this movie more than any other, where I really felt that I did a lot of work, you know, all kinds of preparation and studying and even working on the script for almost a year before we started, and that helps me no end. But then there comes a point where you just let it all go and you just fly with it. And that's what I really felt with this, was just kind of almost just jumping off and going, all right, you know. Yeah, Africa was a tough part of the shoot, but it was also where the heart of the movie was. So in the one part, it was exhausting, and it was the area that created most of the darkness and emotion of the movie. And in the other part, it was the, you know, it was this beautiful kind of expansive country and surrounded by nature and the children, which again are really the kind of driving force behind this movie. So I find that in Africa I had both the best and the worst times of the movie. We were working 6-day weeks, long hours, didn't really get a lot of time off, and but this, I don't know, it opened up a whole other world. This is a strange movie in that respect, because it kind of, it's like two different worlds, and you jump from one to the other, which is kind of part of the dichotomy or the duality of Sam, of the story, of everything, you know. It just, the movie opened up into something completely different, even for me, even playing Sam. It was like, oh yeah, and that happened. Oh yeah, then there was Africa. And it's where I kind of went down the tubes as well, you know. It's kind of where I lost my mind a little bit. And yet I felt kind of finished off this beautiful story.